Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are, whoever you are, and welcome once again to Nerd Week Live, the Nerd News Roundup show brought to you by us, the folks at Nerd Caliber, or me, the folk at Nerd Caliber tonight. It's the week after the long Memorial Day weekend, and of course, lots of people have lots of things going on. So I'm your host for tonight, Rodney Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief of Nerd Caliber. First-person shooter on Facebook as a cosplay photographer, Burley_adopter on the Twitters, as a tech journalist and a bunch of other things. Joining me tonight is me. Because it was the long Memorial Day weekend, we also have a fairly short roster. There wasn't a ton of news that dropped over the course of this past week, like is typical of most weeks in the last few months. So it'll probably be a fairly quick show. We'll probably have this whole thing wrapped up in a half an hour or so, as opposed to the well more than an hour that often happens when we get some of our more verbose team members on, myself included. But I'm only the only one right now, so my verbosity will not be a problem, I hope. Welcome, folks in the chat already. Creeper King, hello, and greetings, Earthlings, and anywhere else, whoever you might happen to be. I can't get the text at the beginning, so abrosexual being, welcome. You're actually from Mercury, okay. I'm guessing it's rather warmer there than it is here in the United States, even with our heat wave. Charles Santino, great. Back at you. And Luminous, hello. Yes, it was a quiet news weekend. It certainly was. Let's see if we got anybody else on the other live feeds. Nobody yet, so we'll stick with YouTube for the time being. And also, folks out there, hello and happy Pride Month. For all of my LBGTQ plus and anybody else. This is a month to celebrate whether you are out, whether you are thinking of being out, or whether you're not ready to be out. This is your month. Having said that, let's just go ahead right into the news, because, again, I don't really got much of anything else. So that is, of course, the wonderfully, wonderfully evil GLaDOS from Portal. And the news is that the long suspended, previously announced by Valve and J.J. Abrams Portal movie that they talked about back in 2013 and then sat on for whatever reason for 8 years is back in development. Currently in active development, according to both Bad Robot, Abrams' studio, and Valve. The last time anybody heard anything about this, Abrams said in 2016, 3 years after that announcement, but 5 years ago, that his studio Bad Robot wasn't actively working on it at all at the moment. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether there were some sort of rights issues, whether it was just people didn't have the time to put it on their plate. For it to sit for 8 years without the people who announced that it was going to be made doing anything about it seems a little weird. But apparently it's all over. Whatever the problem was, if there was a problem, even if it was just a scheduling problem, it's over. And they are in development at Warner Brothers. Not a big surprise. That's J.J. Abrams' favorite place. Nothing further about what's going to happen with it. They, whether Abrams is going to be doing any of the actual work other than producing it, whether he's going to be a writer, director, or anything, that's not in this announcement. Literally, it was just, it's back in active development at Warner Brothers, which means they're probably putting together a producer team, pulling together a script, and so on. So it will be a long time before we probably even see casting, much less, or whether it's going to be live action, whether it's going to be animated, or what have you. So, not a lot of details, other than it's back online. And if I'm pausing and so on a lot, it's because the pollen is kicking my butt tonight. So I'm trying hard not to cough. I sound really stuffed up to myself. I don't know about you guys, but so bear with me, please. Um, so there's that on Portal. I wouldn't anticipate anything prior to 2023 right now if I were you folks. Yeah, this early in development, back in active development, it's already sat for 8 years. Who knows? But this is one of the most amazing things I've seen sort of sneak out of a completely unintended source, if this is true. So that is, of course, Danai Gurira as Okoye from Black Panther. The news, I guess, is, if it is news, well, it's certainly news to me, whether it's accurate news. So the Hollywood Reporter a couple of days ago had this super long piece where they highlighted what they called the top 100 power player lawyers in Hollywood, entertainment lawyers. And so it's this insanely long list. Well, somebody at, I think it was Variety, was going through this for whatever reason and discovered somewhere in 41 to 50. Are these things actually numbered? I guess not. There is very brief. So all of these are like one paragraph descriptions of these lawyers. And there's this lawyer named Jamie Mandelbaum. From the, and I'm sorry for this name, the Jackaway, Austin, Tyerman, Wertheimer, Mandelbaum, Morris, Bernstein, Tratner, and Klein law firm. Get a new name or fire some people. Anyway, they talk about how Mandelbaum did these two huge deals at HBO. He got way more money for the cast of Succession, but he also basically helped put together the deal to bring Sex and the City back. So the guy's a power player. Harry Brady, welcome to the show. And welcome back. But they've also mentioned that he's worked with a bunch of other people and said, including has brokered a deal for actress Danai Gurira to not only reprise her role as Okoye in the upcoming Black Panther sequel, but also in an origin spin-off series for Disney+. This isn't posted as our sources say. Apparently all of the information, assuming the Hollywood Reporter does this like we used to do, top lawyers, top CFOs, top whatever, back when I was at Mass High Tech or the Boston Business Journal, you interview the people and you verify the things that you're putting in the article with them before it goes into the article. Assuming the Hollywood Reporter is doing this, they verified this statement with Mandelbaum. So, and that, other than that one article, and again, like I said, I think it was on Variety, but that one article that found this and made this post, nobody else has picked this up that I can tell. And I haven't seen any, the law firm or anybody, or Disney Plus for that matter, coming in and saying, no, that's not the case. Or Danai Gurira herself. So I think there's something to this. I think that there is an Okoye either origin series or post Black Panther spin-off series, or however they're going to do it, in the works at Disney Plus. And if that's really the case, boy, am I excited. Just the appearance, kind of a spoiler, I won't get into the details, but just the appearance of some of the Dora Milaje in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you haven't seen the whole thing, I won't tell you what or why or what's going on here, but the Dora Milaje show up. It was an absolute thrill. I love the Dora Milaje. I love Okoye particularly. If this happens, I'll be really excited. So fingers crossed that this wasn't just some reporter. Greg, welcome to the show. Fingers crossed that this just wasn't some reporter jumping in with stuff that they had heard but hadn't verified. If it is, that reporter needs to be fired, but that's something altogether different. Moving on to more, well, it's a sequel technically, not a spin-off. That right there, folks, is the lead cast for the upcoming Evil Dead sequel, Evil Dead Rise. This was confirmed post was put out by New Line Cinema. The movie is starring Alyssa Sutherland. You may recognize from Vikings, the one with the dirty blonde hair, and Lily Sullivan with the dark hair. And it is, of course, being executive produced by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. It is being written and will be directed by an Irish filmmaker named Lee Cronin, who was picked by the producers on the basis of a 2019 movie he made called The Hole in the Ground, which I've never even heard of, but I assume horror fans have. We've talked about what the story is, that it would have, female leads. We get a little bit more about the story. Evil Dead Rise tells a twisted tale of two estranged sisters played by Sutherland and Sullivan, who was in apparently the remake of Picnic at Hanging Rock. I can't imagine she was in the original. Whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. According to this article, the reporter says that they've heard this will be made as an HBO Max movie. So possibly not an actual theatrical release, or a what they call day and date. So same time on streaming and theatrical release. Pardon me. Knocking down that cough again. So I don't think there's any word in here on when this is coming out. Nothing in here specifically about when this will happen. And they do specifically say that Bruce Campbell will not star in this next chapter. That doesn't mean he won't appear. He is an executive producer after all. So Evil Dead Rise, sequel to Evil Deads, because multiple movies. So we'll see how that plays out. With Sam Raimi behind it, I have no idea what this Lee Cronin's work is like, but I may have to check out that The Hole in the Ground to see. I can't imagine Sam Raimi would pick this person if he didn't have the kind of chops that Sam Raimi expects. So pay attention to that one. And our next. This is the news that I thought wasn't news anymore. That's, of course, Oscar Isaac. I tried to find an image of him in something that might look like Mark Spector, Moon Knight, before he became Moon Knight, when he was a mercenary. And so this is from, I completely forgot he was in this, that Netflix movie with Ben Affleck and Charlie Hunnam and so on, Triple Frontier. Everybody remember that? Anybody? Luminous. We've had Evil Dead remakes before. So we had Ash versus the Evil Dead, the series. And of course, Evil Dead 2 is essentially a remake of Evil Dead. But is there something else I'm missing? Let me know. So anyway, Oscar Isaac, it has been confirmed, will in fact be playing Mark Spector, Moon Knight, in the upcoming Disney Plus series. I thought that was a confirmed done deal. Again, this was Variety that first put this out back in October, as an exclusive, their sources say. It has been picked up and expanded on and so on by so many articles since then that I just figured it had been confirmed. Apparently not. It was literally confirmed just a few days ago by Marvel Studios, with a picture of Oscar Isaac from like the bridge of his nose up, and a bunch of what one article that I read said was, a first look at designs for. There are pictures behind him, and they're all panels from various comics of Moon Knight. So whoever wrote that article, read more Moon Knight. And you'd realize that wasn't what was going on back there. But again, when we talked about this, show's head writers Jeremy Slater, who co-created the Umbrella Academy for Netflix. And this will be, according to this article, sometime, and I guess it's up in the Phase 4 stuff that was put up there, sometime in the latter half of this year, of 2021. So sometime in fall or early winter, we'll get to see Oscar Isaac as the multiple personality version of the Marvel Comics' kind of Batman. more accurately, kind of the Shadow. But, you know, it's a very interesting character if you don't know Moon Knight. You should check out some of the comics. I particularly would recommend problematic writing, but Warren but Warren Ellis and Declan Shalvey's run from early 2000s, I think. Really amazing work. Speaking of comic adaptations, boy, did we get a massive drop of information about more casting for the upcoming Sandman Netflix series. And that image right up there is 3 of them. So, of course, we've got all the way to the right Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry will be playing Gilbert. In the middle there is the amazing Patton Oswalt, who's apparently killing it. Lumina says there was a 2013 Evil Dead remake by Fede Alvarez. No, never heard of it. Officially sanctioned by Sam Raimi? Really? I'll have to look that one up. Anyway, Patton Oswalt will be playing the voice of Matthew the Raven, which I think is wonderful that he's not actually going to be, you know, doing a live action part of this live action series. But it kind of ties in with his Hulu series. MODOK is killing it, according to any review I've seen. So good on Patton Oswalt. All the way to your left is Kirby Howell-Baptiste, who will be playing Death. I love the idea that they are casting Death as a black woman, or casting a black woman for Death, because realistically, you know, it doesn't matter. And I think that's fantastic. But the big surprise to this, and it was kind of glossed over. Oh, by the way, Mason Alexander Park is playing Desire. Mason Alexander Park is listed with pronouns they, them, so I'm assuming they are non-binary. And I also think that's pretty wonderful for the character Desire. I like that idea. But they sort of slipped this in there. Jenna Coleman, Clara from Doctor Who, is going to be playing Joanna Constantine. I had to look this character up. I was wondering whether they were gender flipping John Constantine, but no, that's not the case. Joanna Constantine is a character in the Sandman run, and is in fact an ancestor of John Constantine from the 18th century. Very much a sort of early Lara Croft kind of character, a rather wild adventurer. I love all of these castings. I think this is really cool. I cannot wait for this. And we've already talked about, this Gwendolyn Christie, Charles Dance, Tom Sturridge will be playing Death or Morpheus. I'm sorry, Dream or Morpheus. Very much looking forward to this. Again, we don't know for sure when this is going to land because it's Netflix and they never tell you, unless it's like Stranger Things. Well, even then they don't tell you exactly when Stranger Things is going to land. So who knows? Hopefully sooner rather than later. I love this news. I wish I knew more about it. That's one of your latest cast members for the upcoming Secret Invasion series. That is Christopher McDonald back as Shooter McGavin in the movie Happy Gilmore. Christopher McDonald, and this is an exclusive for Deadline. They have learned this is one of those things that has not been confirmed. Will be playing apparently a newly created character. But one that will not just be for Secret Invasion, but will bridge across other Disney Plus limited series and MCU movies. Now, Marvel, says a rep for Marvel declined comment. At first I started speculating on who the character could be, but then I reread it and it said newly created. So I have no idea, who this character is going to be. I'm guessing, a Skrull. Luminous, yeah. Lots of hearts for Jenna Coleman. Agreed. So I have no idea. Maybe a Skrull. Maybe the leader of the bad faction of Skrulls. Can you imagine if the leader of the bad Skrulls was Shooter McGavin? I'm 100%. I eat little shits like you for breakfast. It's like, you eat shit for breakfast? I want lines like that, please. If it's gonna be, make him Shooter McGavin. But yeah, that's so. Kristen McDonald is gonna be in Secret Invasion as a who knows what, but a character that, according to their sources, will be important enough to bridge across all sorts of movies. So, which, if it's a newly created character, that means, he's not going to be playing Annihilus or any of the other potential other rumored people, Immortus, which would be another version of Kang the Conqueror, or anything like that. Newly created means it's brand new for Secret Invasion and then ongoing. So our next piece of news is, if you haven't seen this, folks, and if you're at all a gamer or you just love really amazing graphics, you should go check out the extended actual gameplay footage clip that was released for Horizon Forbidden West. This is a screen grab from the allegedly, and I say allegedly because, people have played fast and loose with this stuff before, but allegedly directly from PS5 gameplay footage of Aloy, obviously our main character again. And it's wonderful. The articles say it's, check out this 14-minute, gameplay footage. It's not. It's about 10 minutes, and there's, a little developer interview at the beginning and a longer developer interview at the end to round out the 14-minute YouTube video. But you still get a good solid 10 minutes of what looks like pretty early on in the game gameplay footage. Aloy discovers that her buddy Erend has been captured, and you watch, the gameplay footage of how Aloy finds him and ultimately, attempts to, of course, in the gameplay footage, there are people who developed it, so they get all the stuff right and does, rescue him. And while I was looking that up, so I've never played the game, and I, apologize to people who are about to throw rocks at me because it's right up my alley. But I'm also super cheap. But I didn't realize how insanely accurate Grinning Hazard Cosplay's Erend was when I took a picture of it back in 2017 at New York Comic Con. And unfortunately, because of the non-vertical nature, the horizontal nature of the frames here that you're looking at this on, I can't show you the whole full body shot, but it is 100% spot on. And the best part about that is all of that, including the facial hair, is pretty much his normal facial hair and hair. It's almost like they designed Erend around Grinning Hazard, as opposed to him making a cosplay of it. But I just had to throw that out there because, damn, that was good. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. It looks really exciting. It's, of course, beautiful. If it is, in fact, really running on a PS5, that wouldn't be any surprise. They are supposedly releasing it also for the PS4 sometime in the future. This announcement had literally no word whatsoever about a release date or even any indication of what year. So I wouldn't count on it being this year, even if they are already at the point of showing like extended gameplay footage. But it looks great. Go check it out. It's very exciting. You get to see some new abilities, and it's kind of neat. I really like it. And our last topic. Wow, we may come in way under a half an hour. That is Kraven the Hunter in one of the many various comic book iterations of his design. Greg, do you have any photos of Mink or Ataru as Aloy? I have a bunch of Mink, but not at hand that wouldn't completely kill this stream right now when it would take me 5 minutes to dig them up off of backup drives. So yeah, go to nerdcaliber.com and in the search string put in Mink the Satyr, Satyr. You'll get a million hits, and I can't tell you which one has pictures of Mink as Aloy, Aresia. I'm not sure which year, 2017 or 2019, because 2018 was the one where they went to the other hotel. But anyway, I know for sure it's one of those two Aresias. So anybody who's really keen on seeing one of the most amazing and I mean, I think Mink has one of those faces that can sort of fit into just about anything, with the application of just a little bit of makeup to enhance whatever the feature is she wants to enhance. But she also looks quite a lot like Aloy. And Greg's Katsucon 2019 gallery as well, he says. So yeah, if you want to check those out, check those out. The reason I didn't bring that up is because I knew how accurate and amazing Mink's version of Aloy was, because I've seen plenty of that. I hadn't really seen any detail or really knew who Erend was until I watched this and read up on it. And then I remembered back, it's like, oh my God, Grinning Hazard was just perfect. So that's why I picked that one. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this guy. The man with the Hercules outfit, Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter is a very, very old school Marvel villain, primarily a Spider-Man villain. Although I think my first encounter with him was in one of the many Khazar stories. Khazar was their sort of Tarzan in the not the Lost World, not the place in Antarctica. I can't remember the name of it. The Forbidden Land, something like that. And that may have been my first encounter with him. But he is like the ultimate hunter, who hunts people as much as he hunts animals. And is can be a villain for hire if people want to hire him to hunt somebody. He also does it as for sport on his own. And the news is that there is apparently going to be a Kraven the Hunter solo movie coming from Sony, because it is in the Spider-Man general canon, and they've licensed Spider-Man, with Aaron Taylor Johnson playing Kraven. And I took a long time finding the right Aaron Taylor Johnson photo. This is from Tenet, which I didn't even realize he was in. But yeah, so he kind of looks like that image of Kraven the Hunter right there. Trim his beard up a little bit and you're done. So I think it's good casting. I think it's good casting anyway, because Aaron Taylor Johnson, I love almost anything he's in. I think he's really good. Okay, with the exception of Godzilla. Because the Savage Land, thank you, Luminous. Because nobody was good in that first of the now trilogy of Godzilla movies. Well, almost nobody. But certainly Aaron Taylor Johnson was as bad as the rest of them because the script was so horrible. But other than that, I like everything he's in. And not just his nerd stuff like, Quicksilver or Kick-Ass. I like his more mainstream movies as well. So I think this was really good. We don't really have anything other than that announcement. So Deadline has the news. Deadline said that J.C. Chandor is going to be the director. And that's about all we've got. Oh, no, they do actually have a date. Wow. January 13th, 2023. So there you go, folks. I think this is great. I hope they do a better job with Kraven than they did with Venom, and what it looks like might be happening with Venom 2. And that's no knock to Andy Serkis in one of his, second or third director's chair job. But that first trailer for Venom 2 didn't give me any confidence. And if Marvel isn't directly involved in the making of a Spider-Man movie for Sony, so far their track record is, one that was good because it was pretty stupidly fun, not intentionally. So we'll see. Hopefully they do this right. Kraven is a very menacing without being frightening character. And I think that's, it has the potential of being really good. Also, we don't know yet how the Mobius movie turns out. We haven't seen that yet. So, that could be, 0 for 2 for Sony making non-Marvel Spider-Man movies in this current, wave of Spider-Man related content. So, not that, again, I'm not automatically knocking it just because Jared Leto is in it, but yeah, I'm kind of on Pride Month. It's going to be hard to justify a Jared Leto movie. Anyway, that's it, folks. Like I said, short week. Not a whole lot of news because of the long weekend. And, not a big cast here, so not a lot of people diving in and telling me I'm wrong about things. Which is kind of too bad because I often am. But Thursday, if you want to have us spoil the heck out of Cruella, tune in Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Cruella is on the docket. And you'll see whether or not we agree with a lot of the reviews out there, which seem to be coming in at a little mixed, or below. But yeah, full fat spoiler chat Thursday is Cruella. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing for No Nerd Caliber on Monday. We're still looking into that. And then, of course, next Tuesday is... Greg, you're wrong about things. It's been known to happen every show. And then, of course, the Tuesday right after that will be our next Nerd Week Live, this show. So, folks, that's it. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being in the chats, folks. This is a way busier chat than I thought we were going to have on this, night after Memorial Day with lots of people streaming and so on. Lots of things going on. Thank you. It helped stretch out what probably was going to be a 15-minute show into more than that. As always, we encourage you to go look at our Patreon, patreon.com/nerdcaliber. Join up if you want. You'll get to see your name at the end of videos. If you just want to join up to help us out, that's pretty much the only reason they're up there, aside from the reward for having your name at the end of videos. They're both, it's like 2 tiers, and they're both very low dollar. It's there to help us do more coverage of cons when cons start coming back, which they are. Starting to get those emails, folks. Confirming your appearance at blah blah con. So, yay. Until then, folks, get vaccinated. Do it if you haven't done it. And I know if you're here in New England, in general, New England has a 70% vaccination rate at this point. So, yay us. Everybody else out there and the rest of our audience, if you can get a vaccine, please do. If you can't, and you're in a country where it's difficult, do everything you can to encourage the people who are supposedly bringing those vaccines in to do it right away. Luminous, good night. Creeper King, live long and prosper. You do the same. I can even do that with my toes, man. So, anyway, nobody needed to know that now that I think about it. We'll see you at another upcoming show. Stay safe, folks. Get vaccinated, and continue to do whatever you think is the right and appropriate thing on the safe side, not on the unsafe side. Don't walk up to people with your mask off and cough on them. But anyway, with that note, good night. Bye-bye.